Unfortunately, the story of this classic vigilante duo, Bonnie and Clyde, like all tales, must come to an end. In this case, a gruesome one.
In the 1920s, there was a notion that the United States had entered what they called a new era of economic development, that the old rules of what went up would eventually come down, that those old rules no longer apply. They bought homes, they bought cars, and especially they bought stocks, in large part on the basis of borrowed money.
But the good times wouldn't last. October 24th, 1929, Black Thursday. The stock market crashed and continued to go down. Within a week, total market value had dropped $30 billion, roughly 10 times the amount of the federal budget. The result? Panic. President Herbert Hoover tried to calm things down, calling the collapse a passing incident in our national lives. He said things would be back to normal in just 60 days. But by then, the U.S. depression had spread around the world.
As banks collapsed, and as the pain spread to the larger economy, thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people were laid off. Many of them lost their homes. They hit the road. They established squatter communities. These were tent villages where people lived underneath bridges by the sides of roads. They acquired the derisive name Hooverville in scorn of President Hoover.
Bonnie Parker was born October 1st, 1910 in Rowena, Texas. In Bonnie's second year of high school, she started dating a classmate named Roy Thornton. They were married September 1926. A couple days before Bonnie turned 16, their marriage was already not going well. Roy was abusing Bonnie, but they never got divorced.
For a family like the Barrows, day-to-day existence was a struggle. And getting enough food to eat was a struggle. It was a struggle for many people in those days.
Clyde Barrow was born March 24, 1909 in Toledo, Texas. Clyde was in crime at a very early age. He had ambitions of becoming a musician, learning to play both the guitar and saxophone. In the beginning with petty thievery, then graduating to steal cars, Clyde soon escalated his activities to armed robbery. By late 1929, at the age of 20, Clyde was already a fugitive from the law, wanted by authorities for several robberies.
In Texas, the start of 1930, Bonnie and Clyde met for the first time. At the time, Bonnie was 19 and married to Roy Thornton, who was in prison for murder.
Bonnie and Clyde, the most infamous criminal couple in the history of the United States, robbed and killed their way across the country for 2 years.
Once again, the criminal was definitely a product of the times.
She vowed never to leave him. Bonnie and Clyde were already beyond the point of no return. The shooting of John Butcher had been a tragic blunder, but by the end of the year, Clyde and Bonnie were involved in 3 more seemingly callous murders. And in January 1933, Clyde's reputation as a ruthless killer who would shoot without hesitation was sealed when a deputy sheriff was murdered at this notorious West Dallas safe house.
They will not.
But America, as yet, had no national police force.
So Bonnie and Clyde, they died in a car because they were shot to death by machine guns from police people because they were on the run, because they killed lots of people and robbed banks during the Great Depression. They died.
After Bonnie and Clyde's death, multiple miniseries and movies were based off of Bonnie and Clyde's story, and a lot of people started crime sprees because they've heard of Bonnie and Clyde.
It's kind of sad though, really. So young to have just died.
Well, at least we got each other.
Just Bonnie
And...